Can you hold space? This is a video about this concept called holding space, which if you're familiar with spiritual circles or psychological work, is a concept that comes up. Holding the space is when someone, a facilitator, a therapist, a shaman, is present in a way that creates a secure container for people to go inwards and heal. Now, why does this matter? Why is this so important in healing work? Well, it actually has to do with a really old and primitive biological instinct and survival instinct. So Peter Levine, in his book Healing Trauma, talks about how when we were just coming down from the trees, our ancestors were coming down from the trees to the savannah. It was very risky. We were still very much prey animals, or in between prey and predator. And we couldn't just play and rest or learn how to make a fire on our own without risking being eaten. So what we developed as a species was this kind of communal looking out for one another. When one of us was deeply engrossed in learning how to make a fire, another one of us, a friend or part of our family or tribe, would be scanning the horizon, scanning the savannah for predators or risks. And that allowed us to enter completely into the task at hand, knowing that we were safe, that the space around us was safe. And that is essentially what is happening when someone is holding the space in a healing setting. They are the friend, the elder, the community member who is scanning for risks. And what this tells us, it tells our bodies on a really deep level. It tells our bodies, tells our nervous system that it is okay to relax. There is someone here that has authority, that is looking out for dangers, and that you can drop in and focus on the inner healing work that needs to happen. And so this is really, this is the part of the reason why healing is so much more effective when we are with a healer. There are lots of different things that healers provide, but one of them is this very fundamental and primitive sense of safety, of being with another body, with another human being that themselves is not in danger and communicates to us that things are safe. And so some of the characteristics, if we ourselves are trying to hold space and want to hold a container for others, whether you are a spiritual practitioner or a therapist or psychological practitioner, or maybe you're doing shamanic work or altered state work. Whatever you might be doing, this will help you to create a container that allows the people that you are working with to drop in, feel secure, and for the healing process to happen readily and naturally. Because remember, we as healers are not really the source of healing itself. Rather, we create the space and remove the obstacles for people's natural healing process to open up and get working. So if you are holding the space for someone else, something to keep in mind is that you yourself need to be in a relaxed and secure internal state. Think about it, if you are on the savannah and you are counting on someone to watch for predators, if they get freaked out, if they get nervous, you get nervous. We are social beings and we have a kind of herd animal instinct there. Just like wildebeest, if one gets startled and starts to run off, the whole herd starts to move with it because there is that collective the collective works kind of like a larger organism. So if the person that you are in connection with, that is holding the space, is themselves nervous or unsure of themselves, is not grounded, that makes it very, very difficult for the person that is the recipient of the healing space to fully relax and go into that inner place. So that's one, is you yourself need to be calm and steady. Number two, another really important aspect of holding space is that you need to be present and vigilant to what is going on. Again, think about watching the savannah for signs of threat or predators. You need to be present and aware. You need to be looking around. And this is, of course, if we're in a room such as this one, there's not actual physical threats to be aware of, but there might be emotional or psychological threats. So the human mind, we have to keep in mind, it's not very good at distinguishing between physical threats and emotional threats. And so when you are holding space, we want to watch for the person's physiology. We want to watch for any kind of emotion, any kind of thoughts, anything that is arising for them that might be disturbing, that might be a threat. And also anything that we ourselves, anything that might be arising inside of us that might be perceived as such for the person that we're working with. So perception and awareness of what is going on internally for us as well as for the other person, or what is happening between us, is really vital to create that sense of safety so that the person feels like, okay, I am in a safe place, this is a safe container, I can relax, I can trust this person, and I can trust the space that I'm in. And lastly, another really important point about holding space is you want to convey to the person or the people to whom you are holding space that you can meet threats if they do arise. So, and this is a really powerful sense of safety that you could provide if you communicate that, okay, not only am I looking out for threats, but if a threat emerges, I will be able to confront and handle it for you to stay safe. Now, this is something that is really, it gives a core sense of safety, not just because somebody might be, counting on you to look out, for predators, but also even more fundamentally, when we are children, we rely on elders, we rely on parents, we rely on the adults in the community to look out for the safety of the children. And so this is an even more fundamental and primitive instinct that we have, that when we are in the presence of someone that communicates, hey, you are safe, we are safe, and if there's something that goes wrong, I will handle it, and you do not have to worry about it. That really lets our inner children, the parts of our psyche and our body that are still young, that are still in those infant or very early years, to further relax so we can reach them and help to provide the kind of safety, the kind of healing, the kind of love that maybe they didn't get when we were actually that age. So communicating the sense of safety and competency if a threat were to arise. And that third one is not something that you can fake. In fact, none of these are really things that you can fake, because they come with practice, they come with experience, and they come with really this embodied sense of security and solidity on the part of the healer. And this is what a lot of people look for when they're searching for someone to work with is they're looking for someone that, okay, can I trust them? Can I trust that they not only know what they're doing, what they're talking about, but they can hold the space. They can hold a container that feels safe regardless of what comes up. That they can handle my own emotions. They can handle what can come up out of me, not just what's coming out from externally, but the fear, the sadness, the grief, or the anger, the guilt, the shame, all of this stuff that might come up. Can this person handle it? Can they stay in their center when all around there it seems like a storm of energy and emotion? And that is what we look for. That is the mark of someone that is really good for holding space. Because if you can hold the space and hold the container of safety amidst, while inside all this is moving and churning, that is what allows for the person healing to go through the healing process and for whatever energies that are stuck to move through them and to finish doing whatever it is that they needed to do in the past, but maybe didn't have a chance to. In that safe container, we have a second go. So I hope that this is helpful for anybody that is interested in spiritual work or holding space in whatever capacity. And this becomes even more important if you're doing group work, if you're working in a group of people, and even more important when you're working with either trauma or altered states of consciousness, like psychedelics or shamanic work. In these states, we are incredibly vulnerable, whether we're dealing with someone who is trying to heal from trauma, where really their nervous system is very, very sensitive to threats or potential threats, or when we are in a psychedelic state where, again, our senses, we are so attuned to what is going on both inside of us and outside of us. And we are not in a position where we could really defend ourselves or protect ourselves if threats were to arise. So the person that is facilitating, holding that space, whether it's the therapist or the shaman, is really beholden to holding a space that feels comfortable, that feels safe, and that communicates that it is okay to go inwards. You will be safe. I am watching and holding the space that you're in. And that lets us relax and heal on the deepest level. If this has been helpful to you, give this video a like and subscribe. And if you are looking for a space like this to do inner healing work, go down into the description and book a 30-minute consult with me. It's a chance for us to get to know one another and to see if this kind of work might be something that could be helpful for you. I'll see you in the next video.